Welcome to another episode of the AA Sports Podcast. My name's Art, here with my brother Alex.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Alex, first UFC card of the year, and I don't think we were disappointed at all.
Definitely not.
Heck of a card. If you did not watch this card on ABC, do yourself a favor, go to ESPN Plus and watch the card. Hashtag not a sponsor. ESPN Plus does not sponsor us, but do yourself a favor, go to ESPN Plus. Watch the card. You can fast forward through the breaks in between. But overall, this was a solid card from top to bottom.
Definitely. Really good fights.
All right. Let's jump right into it. Let's jump into the main event. We had Max Holloway take on Calvin Kattar in what was expected to be a good competitive fight, but ended up being a blowout by Max Holloway. Talk to me about Max Holloway, dude, because he looked good.
Let me tell you, Max Holloway looked like an absolute animal.
He looked like the Max Holloway you talked about the other day.
Yeah, the Max Holloway that doesn't wear himself out in the gym, doesn't put himself through those hard sparring sessions. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's something that he was doing. Yeah. Maybe his weight cut was a little rough on him. He's a big guy for 145.
We did hear a lot of stories in the past about him.
He's a tall, big, lengthy guy for 145. Mm-hmm. So who knows? I mean, maybe that was what was going on with it. Maybe he has a new strength and conditioning program. I saw in the pre-fight build-up in the, the
video packages?
Yeah, in the video packages that they show before the fight. He's doing pull-ups with a weight vest, with one of those elevation masks on. Something I hadn't seen. I don't know if he's been doing that, whatever. But he looked a lot stronger, faster, just more aware. He didn't seem so sluggish in there.
Yeah, he did.
What did you see from Max Holloway?
Dude, I saw a rejuvenated Max Holloway. And this is not to say that he was kind of down, because he had the loss to Poirier. Right. The two losses to Volkanovski, I thought were close and competitive.
Not the first one. I think the first one was easily a Volkanovski fight. You need to go back and watch that one if you don't agree with me. But the second one, yes, very, very, very contested. So contested that Alexander Volkanovski was receiving death threats. So it was
people got to realize that it's not Volkanovski's fault. That's the judges.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Threaten the judges, not the fighters.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm not when I say rejuvenated, I don't mean like Max Holloway was down. I'm saying this is the Max Holloway that we know at featherweight. The Max Holloway that became champion, that defended his title 3 or 4 times, I believe. Before that Dustin Poirier fight.
But see, even when he became champion, he wasn't this Max Holloway. He wasn't this type of animal that we've seen.
This Max Holloway was something else. As you can see on the screen, 447 strikes landed. 445 of them were considered significant by UFC stats.
So you mean only 2 strikes
were not significant?
Wow. That's bad.
Yeah, and
that is very bad.
And when they mean significant, it's a hard punch with bad intentions. A jab can be significant the way Max Holloway throws it, especially in this fight. But yeah, he looked amazing. Talk to me about Calvin Kattar, because this is one of those fights that can change a career for the worse.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Calvin Kattar, what you saw from him. Maybe talk about why they didn't stop the fight and what could happen in the future for Calvin Kattar.
Listen, as a fighter, there's God-given abilities that sometimes you have, whether it be power, speed, just overall IQ, that you just are a step ahead of somebody. Mm-hmm. Somebody can't give you a heart to want to fight, a heart to want to keep going after you've been absolutely dismantled for 4 rounds, five complete rounds. And he still found a way to take Max Holloway the distance. Yeah. Max Holloway threw everything but the kitchen sink at this guy.
Yeah,
he threw one more thing and it would have been his jock strap coming off. One more thing and it would have been his jock strap coming off. Yeah. And still he could not put away a guy like Calvin Kattar. Hey, my hat's off to Calvin Kattar, man. I don't know. I have no clue how he made it to the end of that fight.
I have no clue either. You spoke as as a fighter. As a trainer, I don't know how that fight made it to the end. Because as a trainer, I would have stopped that fight after the third round.
I would have stopped that fight.
That fight had no business going fourth and fifth. And I understand. Dude, you were telling me, we were talking about it. Calvin Kattar landed some hard shots on Max Holloway.
And I don't think people realize, before Calvin Kattar came into this fight, he was clipping guys and they were going down.
Yep.
I mean, that's just the type of power that this guy possesses. Mm-hmm. Even in this fight, he caught Max Holloway with some good hooks, a good uppercut that would have floored anybody else.
Couple good right hands.
I mean, if you eat one clean uppercut from Calvin Kattar, you're going down. You're going to find yourself on your butt. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think that played a major role in them not stopping the fight. Their corner you want to give your guy every chance. And I understand that. But there's times in a fight where you just have to protect the fighter from himself.
Exactly.
A fighter like Calvin Kattar, he doesn't know how to give up.
No.
Like, he just doesn't know it.
That doesn't exist in his vocabulary.
Yeah, in his brain, it just does not. He's never going to quit. Mm-hmm. So.
And also, referee Herb Dean, we talk about the corner, but Herb Dean is also the guy in the octagon with them.
Yeah.
Watching this. And Calvin Kattar, so many times his legs buckled. Yeah. He just couldn't grab he couldn't balance himself. And it just looked like, come on, Herb. Like, you're right there. You're seeing it.
I mean, it looked like Herb was questioning himself. Yeah. Like, do I get in there? Yeah. What do I do? Because I don't know what to do. Do I rob these people of a good fight?
And like we saw the Robbie Lawler, Ben Askren thing when Herb Dean stepped in and, it was a premature stoppage. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But, maybe it's fights like that where Herb Dean's like, okay, well, I can't stop it too early because who knows? Well, this fight was more of a you should have stopped it, and I don't think anybody would have complained other than Calvin Kattar. Calvin Kattar would have complained, but like you said, you got to protect the fighter from himself. Moving forward, Calvin Kattar loses to the number one fighter in the featherweight rankings. How much does that hurt him? And who do you see him fighting next?
You know what? I don't know how much it really hurts a guy like Calvin Kattar as far as, is he going to be able to get a title shot? I'm sure Max Holloway is going to get a title shot before Calvin Kattar does. So I don't know what Calvin Kattar does from here. If maybe him versus Brian Ortega.
Actually, Brian Ortega, I don't know if you saw, but he's scheduled now to fight Volkanovski for the title.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't think Brian Ortega has the abilities to beat a guy like Alex Volkanovski. I think Alex Volkanovski is probably the best rounded guy at 145 right now.
Yeah.
I feel like he has a complete package. He's good in striking, even though he's short. He knows how to judge distance very well.
Yeah.
He has the power, speed, he has a really good ground game. He has good wrestling, everything you want in a fighter. So I don't think Brian Ortega will be able to come out with that win. Hence, maybe he gets a fight with Calvin Kattar after that one. Okay.
The rematch with Magomed Sharipov that we all want to watch.
Wherever Magomed Sharipov is. Yeah. I don't know where he is.
One thing I do hope, and this will be my last comment on the fight, because, yes, Holloway deserves a title shot next. I don't think there's any ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I don't want to see Holloway fight anybody else except for Volkanovski. Kattar, I hope, I've seen the UFC kind of rush guys back in. A guy takes a loss like this and they get back in the gym and they want to show that the last fight was a fluke. This is the type of fight where Kattar needs to take a lot of time off.
Yeah.
He needs to recover. His team needs to help him recover, make sure he's back to 100% before he starts training. Because we've seen guys get in the gym right away after a rough fight like this, and they never fully recover. So this is the type of fight where I hope Calvin Kattar takes some time off, recovers, and then starts training.
Yeah.
Don't try to recover while you're training. Even though I know he has the heart and the intestinal fortitude, as they would say, to get back in the gym right away. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
And what did you see from Max Holloway? Talk to me about things he did good. What was it that stood out to you from Max Holloway?
My microphone almost fell. Dude, everything about Max Holloway was just so spot on. He was balanced with his punches, which I think something that's really, how can I say, underrated when it comes to learning how to strike, how to the stand up game is being balanced on your feet, throwing punches. When you miss, he's not out of position. If he misses, he's not out of position, so he's able to dodge punches. We saw him slip some beautiful combinations from Kattar and just slip them like if he was unfazed because he was so balanced. Same thing when you throw punches, he's able to throw his combinations because that first punch lands and he's ready and balanced for that second punch. That second punch lands and he's ready and balanced for that third punch. Body punch, dude. That body attack, you told me during the fight, Kattar's gonna be pissing blood because that body attack was vicious. Something that I read that I forgot to put on the screen. In boxing, at least, we always talk about how if you land 50% of your punches, you're pretty much winning the fight. Percentage of punches landed by Max Holloway, 60%.
Jesus.
60% of his punches landed. That is ridiculous. In a 5-minute fight, 447 strikes is ridiculous. So congrats to Max Holloway. Can't wait to see him. He says he's going to stick around and kind of be a backup plan in case something happens to Poirier McGregor. Hopefully not, but I wouldn't mind watching Holloway against McGregor or Holloway against Poirier as a backup plan.
I mind. You know what? It's nothing. I'm a Max Holloway fan. Okay, listen. This guy is 28 years old. He's doing this at 28 years old.
Yeah.
Do you know how old guys like Conor McGregor are? Conor McGregor's what, 31, 32? Yeah. You know what I mean? So imagine this. He's at the top right now. Top. He's been there for 3 years, 4 years already at the top. And he's 28 years old. He's getting better by the, just as he ages. Mm-hmm. I feel he should stay at 145. I think 145 is his best weight, and I think the way he fights, it's better for him to stay at 145.
Better suited.
Yeah, I feel, but I just feel like at 155 the guy's going to hit a little too hard for him, and I feel like the way Max Holloway fights, he's more of a volume type fighter, but he's shown now that he has that power that we've been looking for Max Holloway. I just feel like at 155, it's I don't know. If he's gonna take a fight at 155, I want to see him take a couple, maybe 2 fights up there, and then go for maybe some of the top guys. See how he does.
Okay.
Especially from what I saw from Poirier. I know this is a different Max Holloway, but I feel for Max Holloway, maybe that's the best thing to do. All right? I agree. Hence, I don't know shit about fighting. I don't know anything about fighting, right? I'm just speaking from my opinion.
No, I completely agree. Completely agree with you.
Yeah, tip my hat off to Max Holloway, man. I cannot wait to see Alex Volkanovski versus Max Holloway 3.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, tip our hats to Calvin Kattar for a great show of heart, but it just wasn't his night. Max Holloway was definitely the better man.
Yeah.
Moving on to the undercard, we're gonna kind of breeze through these real quick because they breezed through their fights. We had three.
Didn't waste no time.
3 first-round knockouts, and the UFC was like, okay, let's go back to back to back. Let's start with Condit Brown. Do you have any comments on that fight?
You know what? It was a good fight by Carlos Condit.
Yeah.
You know what? I felt like he really showed that he was just a step above Matt Brown in the grappling department.
Yep.
I felt like, you know what? It's 2 legends. 2 guys that have been around the sport for God knows how. Carlos Condit has been around since GSP started.
Yep.
Matt Brown has been in there. A lot of people were saying, Matt Brown's this, Matt Brown's that. Okay, he knocked out Diego Sanchez, but I think Diego Sanchez wasn't even in, nowhere near to where he used to be.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, my respects to these guys though, man. It was a good fight, and you know what? Carlos Condit seemed like he had a chip on his shoulder. He said he was tired of Matt Brown pulling out of fights. He said he was gonna F him up. That's what he said in a pre-fight interview that I saw. So hey, he went out there and he proved he was the better man. Yeah. What did you see in that fight? Anything impress you from Carlos Condit?
Not too much. I mean,
it seemed like he was itching to get back in there.
Oh yeah, he you could tell Condit was ready. I think Matt Brown was a good opponent for him, but nothing, nothing too extraordinary. Where I'm like, well, Condit needs to have a step up fight or something like that. No, I think he'd be a good gatekeeper type of fight for one of these younger fighters trying to get into the rankings. But other than that, I mean, I'm not too interested in seeing Condit fight. I think these type of fights are okay, but to have it as a co-main event on ABC, I was a little questionable about it, and it did disappoint a little bit. But it was a good setup because we had 3 first-round knockouts to open the card. Let's start with the first fight on the card. The first fight on the card was, I'm going to mess up his name, Punahele Soriano against Dusko Todorovic. Battle of undefeated guys. I believe Soriano was 6-0. Todorovic was 7-0 going into the fight. And Todorovic was the favorite. Soriano pulls the upset and knocks him out. Anything you saw from these two that impressed you?
No, I think it's Todorovic, the one on the left.
On the right. Todorovic is the one that lost. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And Soriano's the one on the left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I thought Soriano was just the stronger guy. I felt like he just landed the better shots. I mean, Todorovic or whatever his name is. I don't know. I just felt like he just was a step behind him in the standing department. And I don't know. I felt like he couldn't take that power, man.
No,
this guy was packing some serious heat. So I don't know. What did you think about it?
I thought Soriano had a good game plan. He went out there and put pressure, and caught Todorovic early, and he couldn't recover.
Yeah.
And great way to finish. Stopped him. He knocked him down like 3 times. You could tell after the first knockdown, Todorovic just wasn't there anymore.
And Todorovic actually he took a page out of Nate Diaz's book. He actually got hurt, and then he just went to his butt. You know what? He's like, I'm gonna go to the butt and freaking use my jiu-jitsu, try to survive.
Yep.
And hey, there you go. It goes to show you that Nate Diaz, guys like this, they watch you.
Yeah.
They can, I don't know, grab things from your game.
Mm-hmm. They learn from you.
Yeah. And then you see it in other fights. So it's like, oh, okay. There you go.
And probably the biggest upset of the night, Joaquin Buckley gets knocked out by Alessio De Chirico with a massive head kick. Wow.
Devastating.
And Buckley's known for that crazy kick in his last fight. And we were expecting something, explosive from Buckley, and we got it from De Chirico here. What'd you think?
I don't know. You know what? Buckley came out and he was throwing, trying to. Yeah. You know what? I think that kick might have done a little bit of damage to him. Okay. Maybe he went in there just too confident, saying, "You know what? I'm gonna throw another enziguri and knock this guy in the next week." He got knocked in the next week. I mean, Jesus, that head kick was devastating. Yeah. And he wasted absolutely no time getting on top of him and just hammer fisted him till he was out. You know what? What's his name?
De Chirico.
De Chirico. He did a great job of weathering the storm.
He did.
He
stayed composed.
Yeah, he stayed composed. He kept his focus. He said, "You know what? Buckley's not going to be able to keep up this pace. And even if he does, he's going to run into something." And he set it up perfect.
Yep. Ran into that head kick. And then on paper, the biggest upset, a plus 260 underdog, Li Jingliang, knocks out Santiago Ponzinibbio with a massive left hook. In the first round. Then they were swinging for the fences. They both were.
These dudes were coming to fight, man. Yeah.
Ponzinibbio came out ready to try to prove a point, coming off a long layoff, some injuries.
I read somewhere that it was 781 days. It could have been 681 days. 781 days. It's been like 2 years since Ponzinibbio has been in the octagon. Yeah. He was he had a commentating job for UFC on the Spanish side.
Spanish, yeah.
Yeah, so I wonder what was going on. I don't know.
I think it was injury.
Was it an injury?
I think it was injury. I believe I read he had two or three surgeries during that time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so that's why he was out for so long. And of course, the recovery, you don't want to rush into training after having surgery. But maybe that time off worked against him.
Oh, definitely.
Because he didn't look bad. I'm not going to say he looked bad because he went out there, but Li Jingliang just had some power that I don't think Ponzinibbio saw coming. I don't think he felt Jingliang could knock him out like he did, and he did come out a little reckless. Yeah, and that's what set up that left hook by Jingliang.
They both threw the same exact combination, I think.
Yeah, I think it was like a 1 or 2, 3.
Yeah, and both their right hands missed, and Li Chang just Jingliang just beat him to the punch, man.
And I mean, Ponzinibbio, you see it on the replay. He pulls out with his hands not in a good position, so he gets clipped right on the button, right on the chin.
Right on the chin.
And he went down quickly. Jingliang, I don't even think he threw punches after that. I think that it was just boom, down. The ref stopped it. But overall, I mean, a great night of fights. Other than Holloway Kattar, which I think was a nice fight, which of the knockouts impressed you the most?
I think it would have to be what's that guy's name again? The guy that fought Buckley.
Did Chirico?
Yeah, I think he really made a statement. Okay. Listen, everybody I was saying that Buckley was gonna, win this fight and everything.
We said on the podcast. I mean, we didn't even bring up Chirico. We just talked about Buckley.
I didn't know who this guy was, to be honest. I'll be honest with everybody on here. I don't know who this guy is.
But that's where the UFC, I think, kind of has an advantage over boxing, where even these young guys coming up, they're fighting guys who can beat them.
Yeah, and I feel like in the UFC, it's so common to see that. You rarely see guys that are ranked 1, 2, or even a guy that's ranked, say, 5, fight a nobody, or fight a guy who's not even ranked.
It's rare to see a top 10 fighter undefeated.
Right.
Because,
there's so many ways to lose in the UFC.
Yes.
You could get knocked out. You could get arm barred. You could get knee barred.
And I think more importantly, a knockout, at least in the UFC, or a loss in general, doesn't really slow your momentum. Sure, you take a little step back, but the UFC keeps putting you in there to where a couple more wins, and it's like the loss never happened.
Yeah,
So
it takes me back to something that Angel Garcia used to say in the boxing world. It's like, how come boxers, they get one loss and they get looked at as bums?
Yeah,
they're like, look at the guys in MMA. They've lost before. Some guys have 10 wins, yet they're still there fighting. They're still there chasing a dream.
Yeah.
Yet boxers get 1 loss, 2 losses, and then everybody looks at them like bums.
Yeah. Dude, it's unfortunate. And I mean, the boxing.
Do you think Floyd Mayweather has something to do with this?
No.
With
no.
Just protecting the O. The O is so important.
Maybe a little bit, because I mean, back in the days, you didn't see many undefeated fighters. You
Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, Mike Tyson, all these guys, they all had losses.
Well, I mean, Tyson being the loss to Buster Douglas, I think more how he lost, but that loss is what really what he's remembered for. He's remembered for that big upset. I mean, of course, you remember the Mike Tyson that was devastating and knocking people out left and right. But, when you think of Mike Tyson, I think a lot of people also think about that upset loss and that first loss.
And that's unfortunate because it erases, like, what was he? He was the youngest
heavyweight champion.
Youngest heavyweight world champion.
Yep. I think he still is, right?
That just goes to show you that just people don't know crap about boxing. People don't know crap about fighting in general. Who's the longest reigning heavyweight world champion?
I don't know.
Exactly. People don't know shit about boxing.
Who is it?
I don't know. I don't know shit about boxing. I don't know who it is. Don't ask me who it is.
But yeah, so I mean, many of these guys I'm sure we'll see again. And we'll see them maybe become contenders in their respective weight. I liked Jingliang. I think Jingliang was the biggest takeaway for me. The biggest winner of the night with a big win over Ponzinibbio. And, Ponzinibbio coming off that long layoff and then getting knocked out like that, hopefully it doesn't
his first
detour
loss.
his career. Yeah.
Damn. Imagine it having to come like this.
Yeah.
Just you haven't been in the octagon 781 days. That's nearly 3 years.
Yep.
And you get knocked out on just a beautiful left hook on the chin, man, and that's it. And you know what? Did you happen to see the weigh-in where they held up a poster of the legend Maradona?
No, I did not see that.
Yeah, because Ponzinibbio is Argentinian.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah, that was great. And you know what? What's his name? Jingliang.
Jingliang.
He actually helped hold up the poster.
Oh, nice.
So I thought that was a good thing from him.
Man, if I would have known, I would have put that picture up.
I know. I was gonna tell you too, but I was like, oh man, I don't know. I thought there was gonna be a scuffle because Ponzinibbio, he kind of looked at him like, what, you trying to take my poster or what? But he didn't know that he was trying to, hold it for him as a sign of respect.
Oh man, that's cool. That's cool. Any last comments on the card? I think it was overall a great night of fights.
Overall, a great card. I'm glad that it was on ABC. You know what?
Yeah.
It's a new deal they signed, and I really hope that they get more great fights, on ABC. Is Conor McGregor Poirier going to be on ABC, or is that going to be pay-per-view? We didn't get that lucky.
They're trying to.
Yeah, we didn't get that lucky.
No, this was just the appetizer, so you could pay for the pay-per-view.
Right. Wait, then how come the UFC has ESPN Plus and ABC on the as a slash and why still have ESPN Plus if it's free on ABC?
Because for the international crowd, for people outside of the United States that don't have ABC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got
so internet, Argentina for Ponzinibbio, Russia for Todorovic, China for Jingliang. They can't watch obviously on ABC, so they'll watch on ESPN Plus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This week coming up, I think we're gonna have two UFC preview podcasts, because I think on Wednesday Mike Chiesa fights. I think so. We'll check the schedule, but I think it's on Wednesday.
I think I saw that.
And then on Saturday we have Poirier McGregor, UFC 257.
257.
I think it's 257. So we'll make sure we bring a preview on that later in the week. Sunday night we'll have our NFL recap as we're recording this. The Bills and the Packers. Sorry, the Bills and the Packers have advanced to the conference championship round, so they're waiting for their opponents, which will be determined on Sunday. So we'll be back on Sunday night for NFL recap. Any last comments on the card?
No, you know what? Overall, great fights. I can't wait to see more. And I am definitely pumped for Poirier McGregor.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have a nice breakdown of that coming up later this week. So once again, thank you guys for watching this episode of the AA Sports Podcast, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Peace out, guys.